You're probably never going to want to drink again socially after watching this video. Now, this video is not going to be meant for people who are actual alcoholics, like people who have an actual problem, like a crackhead drinking alcohol every single day. No, this is more so going to be for people who just drink socially, like people who drink at the parties on the weekends, go to the clubs, the bars, or even have, beers with the boys on the weekends watching the football game. Now, this video is not meant to get you to quit drinking alcohol for the rest of your life, but it's more so to get you to question why you're even drinking alcohol socially in the first place. Make you question if you should even have that beer with the boys watching the football game, or make you question whether you should even have that drink with your friends when you're just at a restaurant enjoying a meal. Now, the thing about alcohol is that alcohol is very, very, very deceptive, because the thing about alcohol is that it's such a normalized thing in society. So there's a stigma around it that drinking socially is just not a big deal at all. But I'm here to tell you it is a big fucking deal. Because think about this. When you see someone doing cocaine at a bar, you'd probably think like, oh, this guy's a crackhead. This guy's a crack. I should probably stay away from this guy. He's not the best person for me. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, alcohol is still a drug, just like cocaine, except the fact that alcohol is a normalized thing. So if cocaine was normalized in society, then you wouldn't see it that way. It's the same exact thing with weed. Back in the day, you couldn't smoke weed without looking like a crackhead because weed was classified as an actual real drug on the same, on the same scale as like meth or heroin or cocaine. But today, it's not like that. You see someone smoking weed, you're like, oh, sick, this chill guy, he's probably a chill dude. He smokes weed, right? So that's the thing. Like it's the same exact thing with alcohol. Whenever people drink alcohol, they see it as such a normal thing. So you don't really bat an eye to it. And a lot of people just don't really have the conscious awareness to even understand this. Or a lot of people are just ignorant to what alcohol is actually doing to them when they drink socially. Because of course, drinking alcohol socially, maybe it's not the biggest deal at all. Maybe you're the type of person who's able to get shit done. Maybe you can have a drink on the weekend and then you're able to get your tasks done, whatever. But a lot of people are just ignorant to what alcohol is actually doing to them, and they just don't know. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is I'm going to be kind of like stimulating your mind a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the beliefs that people have on why they think they should be drinking alcohol or what benefits they think drinking alcohol has, and then I'm going to make you question those. Because if you actually logically break it down and if you kind of like zoom outwards and look at what you're actually doing, you'll realize that there's really no benefits to drinking alcohol at all, and there's zero pros. And it's all negatives. Like the negatives outweigh the positives by like a huge, huge, huge scale. But before I explain that, I'll explain my story a bit. So I was the type of person who would get drunk at every single party that I went to. And then at the end of the night, I would be head over heels, just freaking throwing up on the ground, or head over knees, just throwing up on the ground. I'll throw up at every single party that I went to. And the reason why I drank so much is honestly because I was just trying to spit some game, like I thought I needed alcohol to go ahead and spit some game. But honestly, it just made my game worse, and it took me a long time to realize that. Then I got to the point where I was just like, you know what, fuck this, I'm not gonna drink alcohol anymore. A couple things happened. Like I remember there's this one time where I was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. I got jumped by like 6 huge black guys. That was because I was drunk and I just didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was just wrong place, wrong time. But whatever, I'll talk about that another day. It just makes me less sharp. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna stop this alcohol stuff. I'm not really seeing the benefit anymore. It's not helping me with my game. It's not helping me with anything. So I stopped drinking alcohol, and I haven't drank alcohol for about like 3 years now. And honestly, I'm probably never gonna drink alcohol again for the rest of my life. Or maybe I will. Like maybe I'll get drunk like another time just to experience it, and then I'll make my decision from there. But as of now, like I really don't care for alcohol at all. Now, one of the reasons why people think that alcohol has some sort of benefit to them is because it helps with their social life. Now, what does this even mean? A lot of people, they think that, oh yeah, alcohol is good because, it helps me connect with people socially. It helps me make new friends. It helps with my social life. I'm going out drinking at the clubs on the weekend. I'm going to these bars, I'm drunk. But when I'm not drunk, it's hard for me to connect with people. It's hard for me to make friends. But this is the thing. That is complete bullshit, because think about this. You were able to have a social life before you started drinking alcohol, plus you have a social life outside of alcohol. You probably met people in school. You probably met people in your different hobbies that you do. You probably met people at the gym and became friends with them. You didn't need alcohol to connect with those people. But this is the thing. All these people that you're going out with to the clubs or to the bars and drinking with on the weekend, those people are only your friends because of the fact that you're drinking with those people. When you drink, this is what's happening. You're drinking poison essentially, and then you're poisoning yourself to basically make yourself retarded. Now, I don't want to say that, like I feel bad for saying that, as I don't want to use that specific word, but it's the best way to describe what's actually going on. You're essentially making yourself retarded, and other people are drinking this substance, poisoning themselves, ruining their body, making themselves retarded as well. so they could connect with other people. Now, if two people kind of drink this substance, make themselves stupider, kind of like lower their IQ points, of course they're going to connect, because what you're doing is you're shoving happy chemicals in your brain. You're numbing the logical part of your brain that actually, thinks. And then you're talking to different people. So of course you're going to feel as if you're connecting with these people because you're both under the same sort of substance. But the thing is that these aren't your actual friends. You could become friends with anyone who's drunk. If two people are drunk, it's not hard for them to become friends at all because you don't know what the fuck is going on. It's like two little kids becoming friends, literally like two kindergarten kids becoming friends. It's not hard for them to become friends because they don't know what the hell is going on. They're not at that conscious level to where, okay, maybe this person isn't the type of person that I like. If you're a kindergarten kid, you'd probably be friends with another kindergarten kid who, I don't know, likes playing with marbles or likes the same color as you or wears the same, like, you know what I'm saying? It's not real, genuine friendship connections there. So when two people are drunk, obviously they're going to become friends. But what happens when there's no alcohol involved? And this is why you need to drink with these same exact friends every time you go out, because that's really the only thing that you have in common. So these aren't your actual friends. These are just your drinking buddies, your drinking partners. You guys probably go to the clubs. You have the same exact conversation every single time you go to the clubs. You probably don't really talk about anything new. They're just people that you get fucked up with. And this is the exact same reason, and you see this a lot, where people become friends in college or university and they drink together, they go to the clubs on the weekends, and then they're not really friends after that because they didn't really have any actual genuine connection. But this is the thing, you make genuine connections with people outside of drinking alcohol. You make genuine connections with people in your school, people at your work, your coworkers, your friend, or I guess not your friends because you haven't met them. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. Like, you make genuine connections with people that you've met outside of alcohol. So if you feel as if you need to drink alcohol to make genuine connections with people, that's complete bullshit. If you drink alcohol and you need to rely on alcohol to even socialize in the first place, then that's kind of a problem. Like, don't you see that as kind of an issue? Like, let's say you're to go to some sort of like wedding and you feel as if you need to drink to be able to loosen up and connect with people and talk to people, this, that. Don't you see that as kind of an issue? You need to rely on poison to get you to connect with people, or you need to rely on poison to be able to talk to someone. That doesn't seem logical. So you're telling me that you need to drink this poison that is detrimenting your body, that is literally making you stupid, that is literally aging you quicker, to go ahead and talk to someone. And that's just not the case. People believe that they need this, but they don't, because you've done this before. You've talked to people in person. You've talked to people at work. You've connected with people without this substance. So what makes you think now that you're at a party where a bunch of people are doing this thing, why do you need it then? You don't need it. Like, when I stopped drinking alcohol and I started going to like parties and clubs, I was able to connect with people even better. Why? Because I actually have a sharp mind. I'm able to develop my social skills without drinking alcohol. I'm able to connect with people on a deeper level because I'm not stupid when I'm sober. Like, I'm not making myself retarded and then going ahead and talking to people. And this is the thing. A lot of people think that they're actually better socially when they're drunk, but that's just not true, because you haven't seen yourself from a non-drunk perspective. No, you're not actually fucking like, it's kind of funny because people think that they have crazy game whenever they're drunk, but no, you don't. You just genuinely don't. And the reason why you think you do is because when you're drunk, you feel better because this substance is essentially shoving happy chemicals and dopamine and different chemicals that make you think that you are. But no, it's really just these happy chemicals, because obviously if let's say you're on fucking heroin or some shit like that, you're probably going to think you're James Bond. You're going to think if you're on heroin, you're going to think you're the most charismatic person in the world. But no, from a sober perspective, if someone's looking at you from a sober perspective, they're just going to think you're drunk. They're going to be like, yo, this guy's kind of sloppy. This guy's slurring on his words. I think he thinks he's sick right now, but really he's a bit stupid. But the reason why you don't really get that lashback is because of the fact that when you're drunk, you're probably talking to other drunk people. So really, it's just two people who are drunk who think they're charismatic as fuck, who think they're James Bond when they're talking to people. And it kind of creates this reinforcement loop where both of these people think they're charismatic as fuck and super socially better when they're drunk versus when they're sober, because of the fact that they're talking to someone who's also drunk. But if you were sober, and you guys know this, if you're sober talking to a drunk person, you probably think, okay, this person just seems a bit stupid right now. Like, literally, the only reason why you don't think that when you're drunk is because of the fact that you're drunk. So no, it does not help with your social ability at all. It does not help with your game at all. Me myself, I kind of noticed that when I was drunk trying to spit game to females, I was saying some stupid shit, but I would think in my head like, yo, that was so sick. Like that was the sickest thing. But yo, look at my game. But I was saying some dumb shit. like some of my friends would have to tell me like, yo, what the hell are you saying, bro? Like me myself, I'm into super dark humor. Like I've watched Family Guy, like I grew up watching Family Guy, that sort of stuff. So I'd say a lot of crazy fucked up jokes, if you know what I'm saying. I think like, yo, that was sick. But really, I'm just fumbling the bag because I don't know what the hell I'm saying, because I'm on a wave where I think that everything I'm saying is just freaking some Tommy Shelby type of shit. So if you feel as if you need to make yourself more retarded or kind of like lower your IQ points to socialize, then that's a big problem and that's a big issue. Now, the next thing that people say when it comes to drinking alcohol is they say like, oh, like drinking alcohol, it just makes the night funner. It makes a boring night just fun. But here's the thing. Maybe, yeah, it does. It gives the illusion that it makes the night funner, but it doesn't actually make the night funner. Now, what do I mean by this? When you drink alcohol, the night doesn't change. It's the same exact thing as when you're sober, except for the fact that you're drunk. Because what you're doing when you're drinking is you're shoving happy chemicals in your brain. You're poisoning yourself and then you're shoving happy chemicals in your brain. So of course you're going to think it's funner, but the actual event that you're at is not a funner event. It's the same exact event except for the fact that you're drunk. So yeah, maybe it does make things funner because you yourself, your experience within that event is funner. But if that event isn't fun in the first place, then you're probably at the wrong event. Like if you need to drink alcohol to make something fun, you probably shouldn't be at that event. Like if you don't like nightclubs, for example, like let's say you were to go to a nightclub sober and you're like, fuck, I'm having the worst time ever. I need to have a drink. Maybe you're not the type of person that likes nightclubs. But if you went to a nightclub sober and you're able to enjoy yourself then maybe you are the type of person that likes nightclubs. But what you're doing essentially is you're forcing yourself to like that environment by poisoning yourself and then shoving happy chemicals in your brain. It's kind of like this. I started doing jujitsu recently. And let's say I fucking hated jujitsu. It's like, damn, I don't want to do this jujitsu class, but I'm going to drink alcohol before I do jujitsu just so I enjoy it. If I don't like jujitsu, then I probably shouldn't go to fucking jujitsu class. Like, it's the same exact thing. Like, I don't want to poison myself every time I do something just so I can enjoy my time there. Instead of doing that thing, why don't you go ahead and do something that you actually enjoy? Because think about this. A lot of people think that they can't have fun without alcohol, but you have fun all the time without alcohol. Think about what you're doing before you started drinking alcohol. What were you doing for fun? For me, I was going around longboarding with my friends. I was exploring the communities or exploring my city on my longboard with my boys. I was playing basketball. I was playing sports. I was going to the drop-in basketball games. I was doing so much stuff. I was having adventures. And I'm sure there are a bunch of different things that you do for fun that don't require alcohol. Like for me, I like skiing as well. I like skiing. I like watching movies. I like jet skiing, going for hikes, chilling with my boys, going to a nice restaurant, enjoying a good meal. That's the type of fun that I like. But if I need alcohol to enjoy those things, then I probably don't actually enjoy those things. And yeah, a lot of people would like to argue like, oh, those fun things, those things cost money. But how much money does it cost on a night out? It costs a lot of fucking money because you have to buy the Uber to go to the club. You gotta, buy the Uber home. You gotta buy drinks, and then maybe you want to buy your friends drinks, and it costs a lot of money. Drinks are not cheap, especially nowadays. Drinks are not cheap at all. So that's just an excuse. Now, me myself, I understand why people go to nightclubs and bars. I really understand, because after going to these places sober, I have a blast. Like I actually have the best time whenever I'm at a club or whenever I'm at a bar when I'm sober. I'll go as to say the best times I've ever had at a club or at a bar were when I was sober, because when I was drunk, I was fucked up. Like I was literally fucked up. So all the times I've been to a bar or club sober, they've been way better than going to a club or a bar when I'm drunk. So I found out that I actually like listening to music at a club. I actually like dancing at a club because me, myself, like I'm turning up whenever I'm at a club. Like I'm in the middle of the freaking mosh pit doing my thing. That's something that I actually like doing. But if I was just drunk the whole time, I wouldn't know if that's something that I genuinely like doing. And if you don't genuinely like doing that stuff when you're at a club, when you are not drunk, then maybe it's not something that's for you. So like what I said, whenever I'm at these scenarios that usually involve alcohol, I'm having a blast. Like I'm having the best time of my life. And the thing is that I've trained my social skills to the point where I can even enjoy those sorts of environments without feeling that like crazy anxiety that you get before you walk into a club or before you walk into a party and you feel as if you need to drink alcohol to kind of like calm those nerves or calm that anxiety. How am I going to know if I like those things or not if I'm just drunk the whole time during those certain events? Because I just have happy chemicals in my brain that make me think that I like those things. It's kind of like watching a movie when you're on fucking drugs. Like let's say you're on meth or heroin or some shit like that. Every single movie that you watch is gonna be like Interstellar level. Every single movie that you're gonna watch is gonna be the best movie that you ever seen in your life. But you don't know which movies you like if you watch every single movie on fucking meth. Now, whenever I'm just chilling with my boys, like let's say I'm just at my boys' crib, there's a bunch of dudes there, we're just chilling, hanging out, just shooting the shit. A lot of my boys will kind of be like, yo, just have one drink, like, have one beer, you know, like, well, why not? You know, it's not a big deal, it's just one drink or one beer. Why would I need to have one drink or one beer if I'm just sitting down with my boys having a conversation? Why? Why would I need to have a drink when I'm simply just at a restaurant with my boys enjoying a meal? Why? If I can enjoy myself without it, then why do I need to have it? All I'm doing is just poisoning myself at that point. And this is the thing. When it comes to drinking alcohol, there's a reason why people drink alcohol. There's a reason. You can't say that there's not a reason because there is. Maybe it's you want to, up your social ability. Maybe it's because you think it's going to make the night more fun. But if I don't need alcohol to have that thing that I think that I'm going to get from alcohol, why would I drink alcohol? Why would I even drink one beer or have one drink? What's the point? There's 0 point at all because I'm already enjoying myself. At that point, I'm just poisoning myself for no reason. I'm making myself age faster for no reason. I'm upping my cancer risk for no reason. I'm literally making my face fatter for no reason. I'm gaining weight for no reason. I'm going to make myself brain foggish for the next 3 days for no reason at all. Now think about this. If I were to have that drink that night and I end up enjoying myself 10 to 20% more than I would have if I didn't drink at all, what am I trading? I'm trading all the negative health effects that happen. I'm making my brain worse. I'm getting brain fog for the next 3 days. I can't function the next day because I'm hungover. I'm literally poisoning my body. I'm making myself age quicker. I'm making myself fatter. I'm literally making myself not be able to go to the gym the next day and have a good workout. So if I'm just chilling with my boys or if I'm at a family party and I'm already having fun, why would I drink more and then get all those negative health effects after? Why? It makes no fucking sense at all. Like, it really just doesn't compute in my mind. Why anyone would have more drinks if they're already having fun while they're sober? It just doesn't make sense. Now, maybe if you're there and you're not having fun in the first place, maybe that's just not your circle. Maybe that's just an environment that you shouldn't be in because you just don't like it. Maybe you should hang out with people that you actually enjoy being around or hang out with people that you actually like. Because I can hang out with a bunch of people that I don't like, drink alcohol, and I'll love those fucking people off because I'm drunk and I'm stupid and I'm retarded when I'm drunk. And this is another example. And I know I sound like a broken record, but I just need to drill this in your guys' head. Like, if I'm working a job and I need to drink alcohol every single time I go to the job because I hate the job, that's probably a clear indication that I shouldn't be working at that job. Like, I'm going to go get a job that I like, or I'm going to work a career that I like. If you need to mask yourself, or if you need to numb yourself with alcohol every time you do something and poison yourself, then it's probably something that you shouldn't be doing because you don't enjoy that thing. Now, Andrew Huberman says that there's no amount of alcohol that you can drink that's a safe amount. There's no safe amount at all. Because every single drink that you have of alcohol, you're literally poisoning yourself. So there's zero safe amount. I think he says that anything over 2 drinks per week, that's where the health effects start becoming like drastic. But even having like 1 drink per week, you're still fucking yourself over. You're still getting all these negative health effects. And a lot of people just don't know these negative health effects. If you want to know the actual negative health effects, I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to talk about that. But there are so many. Watch Andrew Huberman's video on alcohol. There's this other YouTuber called, I think it's like Kurzgats. He makes like animated videos and that sort of stuff. And it'll explain all the negative health effects of alcohol. So once you understand the negative health effects of alcohol, because a lot of people surprisingly don't, because no one actually does the research on this, and no one really cares enough about their health to even understand the negative effects of alcohol, and you understand the trade-offs that you're making when you're drinking, why would you drink in the first place? It doesn't make any sense. And no one takes this stuff into consideration because honestly, a lot of people are just scared to look at it. A lot of people are scared to accept this stuff. But alcohol is the biggest deception in all of humanity. And yeah, trust me, still, I completely understand why people drink in the first place. I'm not oblivious to the, like why people even do it. Like people say, yeah, it loosens me up, it makes me loose, it makes me more open, it makes me more this, or it makes me more that. But do you really want to rely on alcohol to make you more of an open person? Like, do you want to rely on alcohol to make you connect with people? Because when you say that it makes you more open, the goal is to connect with people in the first place. The goal is to be social in the first place. So do you really want to rely on a substance and poison yourself every single time you feel as if you want to go ahead and connect with people or be social? Probably not. Maybe if alcohol was something where it didn't poison you, then yeah, I get it. Like, for example, if you take psilocybin mushrooms and microdose on psilocybin mushrooms, a lot of people say it makes them more open, it makes them more present, it makes them more talkative and social. You're not getting those negative health effects from psilocybin microdosing on that versus drinking alcohol. So I understand that. But do you want to rely on a substance that's literally poison you from the inside out, screwing over your whole body just for that? No, probably not. And this is the deceptive thing about alcohol. It makes you think that you need that just to achieve those outcomes. It kind of like gets into your brain and it makes you think you need to drink me and you need to poison yourself or else you won't be able to achieve this outcome. And the only reason why you believe that in the first place is because you started drinking in the first place. But if you never started drinking in the first place, if you're sober your whole life, then you wouldn't be thinking these things at all. You'd be able to go to a bar or a club and enjoy yourself if you didn't drink alcohol in the first place, because you would just be used to being sober and you'd be used to being in that environment while you're sober. If you didn't drink alcohol at all and went out with your friends to a restaurant or, watch the game with your boys, then you would think like, oh yeah, I don't need to drink alcohol to enjoy this stuff. But alcohol has kind of robbed you and it's kind of made you think that you need to drink alcohol every time you go to these things because you've already experienced what it's like with alcohol. And when you experience what it's like without alcohol, you're kind of like, oh shit, it's not as fun. Now, I understand people who want to drink every now and then, like once every couple months or something like that. They have like some huge function, birthday party, whatever. I get it, like go ahead and drink. But if you're drinking every single weekend because you need to rely on it for a certain outcome, I don't think that's ideal. Like I really just don't think that's ideal. Like what's the point? Now, like what I said, I'm not trying to make people quit alcohol forever, but I'm trying to get people to question why they're even drinking alcohol in the first place. At least be conscious when you're drinking alcohol. At least be conscious of what's actually going on and what's actually happening to your body when you drink alcohol. Watch the Andrew Huberman video, watch the Kurzgesagt video. I'll link them in the description actually, just so you know what the hell is actually going on to you when you're drinking alcohol. What's going on inside your body when you're drinking alcohol. Be conscious of why you're even drinking in the first place. Be conscious of the trade-offs that you're experiencing when you drink alcohol. Be conscious of what you're sacrificing when you drink alcohol socially. And trust me, I get it. I understand drinking alcohol like once in every blue moon or once in every couple of months when you want to celebrate something, or it's been a while since you have a drink, or you're at some sort of function and I understand. But if you're drinking socially every single weekend, that's just not the most non-ideal thing. Like it just really logically doesn't really make sense to me at all. This is another thing, the recovery time. Drinking alcohol doesn't only affect you that one night. It affects you the days after that event happens or the days after you drink. So if you get drunk one night, you're going to be hungover the next day and you're going to be brain foggish for the next 3 days. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking like, oh, no, I'm good the next day whenever I drink. Like I'm fine for the next 2 days. And the only reason why you think that is because you're drinking every single weekend. So you don't know what having a normal clear brain even feels like. Because once you get to the point where you're actually feeling better and your brain fog is kind of clearing from drinking, you drink again. So that's just your normal baseline. So you don't know what it feels like to actually have a normal functioning brain. So yes, you could obviously function the next couple of days after you drink alcohol, but you're operating at a deficit. You're operating at like 50 or 60%. And you'd be operating higher if you just weren't drinking in the first place. So if you have shit that you want to do, if you have goals that you want to achieve, what makes you think that you operating at a 60% deficit is going to help you go ahead and achieve those goals? Because drinking alcohol, it doesn't only affect you the same day that you drink. It affects you the next day because alcohol ruins your sleep. It affects you the days after because you're getting all that brain fog. So what makes you think you're going to be productive at all if you're operating at such a deficit? And yeah, people could power through it. People are out there who freaking drink alcohol every single weekend. They're able to get shit done. People are able to power through it. But if you want to be, maximize your potential, if you actually want the energy that you need to go ahead and start that business, or the energy that you need to go ahead and do what you need to do or do what you want to do, advance your career, what makes you think that alcohol is going to serve you in any sort of sense at all? So if you're drinking alcohol every single weekend, what you're doing is you're drinking on a Friday night, you feel it until maybe Tuesday or something like that, and then you kind of fully get back to normal when you're at Wednesday. And then what happens? You only have 2 days of full productivity, and then you drink again on Friday, and then the whole cycle repeats. Now, I'm not going to go into a full deep dive of like the negative health effects of drinking alcohol and that sort of stuff, but there's one thing I'll tell you guys. From all my traveling that I've done, I've met a lot of people who are from like the UK or from London and that sort of stuff. And the one thing that I noticed from all those people is that they kind of look a lot older than they actually are. Like they really look like a lot older than they actually are. And I think it's just because of the drinking culture down there. Like they drink multiple times every single week, like 2-3 times a week, every single weekend from the age of 16. It's such a huge thing in their culture that I think they're just aging quicker, bro, because I've met people from the UK or from who are British that are 19, but they look like they're 30. Like there's women out there who are 19 or 20, but they look like they're 35 because they drank alcohol every single weekend for the past 5, 6, 7 years. Like I know a lot of people that I've seen from high school is kind of like they go to college university for 4 years, they party it up every single weekend. They come back, it literally looks like they've aged 10 years within that 4-year time span. But yeah, to end off this video, just think about this. Is it really worth it? Do you think that the pros outweigh the cons of drinking alcohol? Just ask yourself that question and just be conscious of what you're doing.